Yep, we're back. Season 4, baby. And I'm going to attempt to do something that might get me canceled right away. I'm going to attempt to defend Nolan here. And I'm going to attempt to say that he deserves redemption. Yeah, that's it. Cue the music. Hello, and welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash catches Pikachu. We don't evolve, we just level up. Here with Meme to talk Invincible Season 4, all the way up to Episode 5. The title name that I don't remember is Give Us a Moment. We will figure out the title. It's called Give Us a Moment. Big episode. Meme. Paul
Very
the Plasmoid.
You're not supposed to know that.
Well, I'm taking it off now. So, it's been a while. Give us a moment, so to speak. Talking life stuff. First episode in for season 4. Just want to explain a little bit why it's been a little time. Brandon, you have ADHD. I have ADHD. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we get into this point where we do things and we do it for quite some time. And for whatever reason, we just stop doing it. And the dopamine of doing it is just gone. And for anyone who has ADHD, probably has lived this experience numerous of times. And kind of where I got to with Don't Evolve Me. So I've always knew I was going to come back. I didn't want to quit. I just was more like, didn't know how I wanted to do it, but I knew I wanted to take a break. But as you said, I know for sure the one show that we're going to come back to is Invincible. Because Don't Evolve Me is an Invincible show. And goddammit, I am happy to be back to talk Invincible with you, Meme. Now, for our schedule, we're going to do it for the first 5 episodes here. I don't know if we'll talk any more about Invincible until the end of the season. We have a lot to get to. We have to talk about Daredevil, which is now 3 episodes in. I'll just say this.
The boys start soon.
The boys start soon.
One Piece comes back soon.
One Piece comes back tomorrow, which is awesome.
Oh, that's right.
We're recording this April 4th. We will release this probably either by Tuesday, but this week.
So it'll be out already.
It will be out already, yes. So we have One Piece to cover, live action, all the dub all the way up to the Elbath, and then of course new Elbath episodes. We have One Piece. I have to catch up with Tom with Fallout Season 2. That was an episode that I want to get back. I have played like all the Fallout games to talk Fallout, to be in Fallout, because I didn't do that for Season 1. So like I'm excited to talk about it. So I've been doing the work to get back in. It's just been taking some time. And it's hard to get back into things without that dopamine. So we are here.
We've also been preoccupied with another venture.
Thank you for reminding me. We are also doing Roll for the End, which is a D&D campaign. DMT Tom, better nerdier than you are, Chatfield, is doing it himself. He's the dungeon master for our campaign, just like he was the dungeon master for the Don't Evolve Me D&D campaign. Scourge of the Wendigo, the first episode. Then we had the Lost episode. Never did it again until Roll for the End. And everyone's back, other than Ernie and Ro. Everyone who participated is back. And of course,
now we got Mike.
Mike the Mike guy is back. He's now Whip Daddy. So yeah, please check that out. Roll for the End if you like D&D, or if you just want to give us some subscriptions and give us some support, please check us out. So that being said, do I defend Nolan now, or do we wait?
We could talk about what's happened so far first. Give you a little ground to stand on.
Let's do that. All right, let's start there, and we'll talk once we get into all of it. All right, first segment. What happened? We have 5 episodes to get into. I'm going to give you just a quick snapshot of each episode. Basically, in all the episodes do a really good job of kind of being its own thing. Invincible's really good with that. Sometimes they blend together. A lot of times shows, I think, blend together. it's hard to like, what episode was that again? Invincible's pretty good, so this won't be too bad. All right, what happened? Episode 1, making a world a better place. First part, depression. That's what I wrote down. Mark's depressed. Eve's depressed. Oliver's depressed. The world is depressed because they just had their shit rocked by a bunch of Invincibles. And then Conquest.
Again. Yep.
So we are like, everyone's kind of living in this like depressed world. Oliver and Mark are just overworked, tired. We have Oliver wanting to play video games for the night, and Mark says like, Elephant Man, you must get Elephant Man. Like it's his rival, which kind of was based off season 3.
Yeah,
we'll say disappointing. We didn't get John DiMaggio back.
Yeah,
as Elephant Man. Just a real shame. We have Eve's melting powers. That is a storyline that started from her getting vanquished by Conquest, and I just realized, spoiler alert for everybody, for all of Invincible season 4 to episode 5. So this is your spoiler warning. That's something I gotta do better too in season 4 is spoiler warning. So apologies, but also you know better, so I'm not sorry. All right, so Eve's melting. Her powers are not working. It's been a sign, something that she's not sure about. Later on, we kind of get an idea of why. Later in episode 3, we meet Dinosaurus.
Yes.
Brandon, you remember this guy?
Yes. Yeah, just a giant dinosaur.
I am excited for Dinosaurus. Outside of Angstrom Levy, he's probably my second favorite villain.
Okay. All right.
Season 5. He's going to be a season 5 thing, but really excited to see him. I will say his introduction for his voice, like I forget who voices him, and I don't have the information up on the screen. But I just hearing the voice, I was like, who is that? Whose voice is this? Is that Throg? Like, that's not Throg.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was talking to him? And then he like makes his appearance. I'm just like, I didn't even consider Dinosaurus.
How could you not?
But no, I'm really excited for Dinosaurus. He's going to be a huge season 5 character. Just the philosophy of the dinosaur, which we already got a little bit. He's exciting. He has real extremist views that Mark agrees with. You have the voice?
Yeah, Matthew Reese does the voice of him. I feel like I've heard the name before, but I'm looking, and none of it's like he's been in Family Guy, Watchmen Chapter 2, did the voice of Night Owl.
Interesting.
Yeah, the name sounds more familiar than the guy.
Maybe he's an upcoming.
Perhaps.
Either way, props to him. I enjoyed his voice. He's the MVP of this one for the first episode. Most viable performer, only because I'm biased. Universa is here, and Eve gets to beat her up a little bit. She's voiced by
sucking all the power.
Yep. She should meet Powerplex. Those two would make a great couple. That's not spoilers, by the way, but like in my head, it's like those two are going to meet up and be perfect.
Voiced by Denai Guerrera. Pardon me for butchering that name.
Michonne from Walking Dead, as well as she's Okoye from MCU. So Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman connection there. We have the Sequins are making their final push with the big thing where Mark kills Russ at the very end, which is a huge pivotal moment of, oh, damn, the philosophy from the end of season 3, like, I am going to kill people now. I'm not going to let people, take the opportunity to ruin my family. He did that. He killed them. We will talk specifics later on, because that's a huge point. And it's a huge point in the comics, a huge point in the series this season.
That like willful action, yeah. And
it honestly, it's one of those things where it's a huge superhero moment, right? It's a pivotal moment for many superheroes, Superman included, unless you're Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
So, but we'll
talk about that.
No, we're gonna break it up.
Oh, maybe okay. Later. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
All right. Conquest escapes, and Britt is the new leader of the Guardians. Is there any other important things from episode 1?
I'm a little rusty on what happens in each one, but I don't think so. I do like how Conquest escaping is just like the little end credit scene of them just like he's like wakes up and just immediately just flies off and Cecil's just like shit.
That's exactly what happens in the comics. Like his face, he's just like, fuck. Like, yeah, hey, you dumbass. Like, probably shouldn't do it. Like, it makes I get your reasoning, but man, no.
Yep. Immediately backfired on him.
You're risking the world. You're lucky you didn't go to try to kill him.
Yeah, luckily you didn't go and take off after Mark right away.
All right, so that was
destroy the world.
All right, so that's episode 1, making the world a better place. Awesome title when you think about it. Episode 2, I'll give you the grand tour. This is our space episode. We get our Nolan origin with the Viltrumites. We get to see, and this is actually pretty important for my argument for Nolan. We get to see the Viltrumites and how their whole philosophy is, among the fittest, right? If you are not able to fight, if you're not able to hold your own, like, we will kill you, type of thing. And we get to see that with Nolan's mom, straight up, was about to kill him, and of course Nolan's dad is the one who saves him, and his mom's just kind of like, this is why you're weak, and it's just kind of like, damn. We get to see Nolan, scourge virus. We get to see how the Viltrumites died, whole genocide, billions of them dead. The ring, the death ring around Viltrumite, which is a pivotal thing in the future, which is cool to see. So as a comic fan, like, this is awesome. So we get the space episode, Nolan origin. We get the Thaddeus is a betrayer. We get that reveal. Talks about how he's the great betrayer of the Viltrumites. Later on, he's the one, the scourge virus, and not just he released the scourge virus, he has an updated scourge virus that will kill all of them. So essentially a plan Z if nothing else works. And that's a huge pivotal thing that we'll talk about too. The scourge virus, which this is why I love Invincible. The amount of philosophical questions that come from it is just like, what does it mean to be a hero? Like, actually be a hero. And I love that Robert Kirkman answered these questions in the comic and of course the show. We have Beatles, Space Racer, and Ragnar's. We have to introduce the introduction all three of them, all the things that were in Nolan's books. So Space Racer is alive after being buried for 100 years, which, damn, all these species has long lifetimes. We have
not as bad as the Thraxans, yeah.
Jeez, they get like days, they get like weeks. Which, I mean, like, to them, everything's like super long, so I guess it's like time's relative.
I mean, but to be fair, living your life is the longest thing you'll ever do.
True. At least in this plane
of existence. Yeah.
Plane of existence. I don't know what's afterwards. So we have and then the last little bit is Conquest reports to Thrag. We have all the sex scenes with Alan and his lovely them and their very Space Trek light ship. Their
ship, yeah.
The ship that's like broken down, incompetent commander that's blowing up shit. That's like, all right, we need to move this.
Purple Picard.
Blow it up. Motherfucker. The Ragnars are super tough. Ragnars are important for the future. Dope monsters. All right, so am I missing anything from episode 2? I feel like there was a lot in this.
Yeah, I mean, this one was like all Nolan and Alan, though, right?
Yeah,
there was no.
Well, we get first appearance of General Throg.
Yep. I mean, that's huge.
That is huge. He's the man.
Yeah,
he is. I guess. Well, no, I guess it's spoilers if I say what he is.
Yeah,
but he's the big bad of Viltrumite. We'll say that.
Yeah.
All right, episode 3. I gotta get some airs. Or I gotta get some airs. I gotta get some air.
I was wondering if that was. I was like, oh, that's a weird title.
Titan woes. We have Titan getting attacked by the giant dragon man.
Yep.
He hires Invincible Inc. for a third time.
Another. Yep.
I just love the dialogue in between. Like, is he really going to go for it a third time?
Yeah.
And then the younger brother. It's Oliver.
And then Oliver shows up. Yeah.
We have the Guardians questioning Mark, and everyone's questioning Mark, right? Like, hey, he killed someone. Like, is this the right move? And we get the back and forth, the talk, which me and you will do. More depression. They're like, God damn it! Like, Eve is pretty depressed in this episode because she finds out that she's pregnant. That's a big one. Mark is, just depressed. We have Flaxens are back. That's a big one. They haven't really been back for a while. It's been since season 1.
Season 1? Yep.
I think it's a little more spread out. The difference between the comic and the show, it's a little bit more spread out in the comic. I think it's season 2 territory. But in the show, they're like, Nolan, when he got trapped in the comic, he just comes back and it's like, oh, it's, another Tuesday evening. No one's late for work, but he comes back, even though he spent centuries there, but it's only been a day. But that's just shit that Nolan deals with on a daily basis. But now the biggest thing, though, is Robot and Monster Girl make the sacrifice to essentially defeat them for now. And they're gone. And all I say is, I'm excited for what comes next. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm excited for what comes next.
Mark, I wonder if this wraps around to the story of them, like the older versions of them saving Mark during the...
I shouldn't say anyway if I remember, but I don't remember. I don't know if it neatly does it, but it might. It's not something that's like remarkable for me, like, to remember.
Okay.
I'll say that. Yeah. And then Mark comes back to save Oliver from the dragon, and he sees that Titan's got his family mixed up in this and almost kills Oliver. He beats the shit out of Titan to the point where he almost killed him. And yeah, I think arguably we can say that he's crossing the line here of killing him. But like at the same time, I've heard this argument too. Mark deserved to beat the shit out of him after what Titan's been doing to him. Like it was needed, and I'm like, I agree with that a little bit. Natural consequences for Titan. Like maybe I don't get him involved because he was going to kill me. That dude's coming through things. All right, we have 2 episodes to go through. Herm. Episode 4, filler.
No, well, by the definition of filler.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a filler episode. Robert Kirkman wrote it himself. He said he always wanted to do it, never felt a reason to. We'll argue about this episode because it was a huge argument that I saw on the social medias. Mark and Art have a time to come together. Mark is, feeling very depressed about nearly killing Titan. He goes on a special mission, but we don't get to see that special mission because we get, flash down to hell where Damien and Satan are teaming up to fight Volcanica.
Yes.
Who will take over hell and then destroy Earth.
Yes.
Mark leaves behind Riley, who's with Cahor.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because she's like, haha, well, you can't leave without a male heir. And he's like, technically, I just don't like females. But
after all that,
I would rather be in a female than staying here. So, and she's just like, fuck.
Shit.
Chloe Bennett is the one who voices Riley. I don't know, because this is like not a comic book thing. So I don't know what happens with this, or if it just continues to be a joke. And I kind of hope it just continues to be a joke. But I thought it was cool that Chloe Bennett was doing the voice. She's the actress from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yep. Volcanica has taken over Satan. Mark is summoned down there. He defeats Volcanica with some pretty cool rock music. Is all right. Cool. I love how he gets down there. He's like, that's Satan. All right, I'll just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, he's like ready to kill him. Yeah.
Just going at it, which... good writing on this part because like it's exactly Mark's thinking in like episode 5, but I just want to keep that on the Keep that in my mind. Yeah, he learns that he just has to kill Volcanica. He's just going for the kill shot. Can't quite kill her,
Yeah.
but like, I guess if I just keep punching her, she can't do shit.
Yeah. It's
Which
like turns into a stalemate. Yeah.
she's just like, all right, I'm just gonna
Fuck off for a while. Yeah, I'll come back later.
Zayn's voiced by Bruce Campbell.
Yep. Oh, I know. I heard. Yeah, that's awesome.
Fucking great.
I like this episode. I'll say that right now. I thought it was fun. I like the idea of this like interesting take on hell being so different from what hell typically is.
We have personal issues with Debbie and Eve. Debbie with the whole moving in thing, and then Eve talking with William about being pregnant. Do I tell Mark? Do I not tell Mark? Type of thing. Episode 5, unless there's anything more on Herm. Episode 5, Give Us a Moment. It's an episode that might be considered one of the greatest Invincible episodes. We will talk about that afterwards. Okay, so we have Nolan and Mark talking, coming back together after their time on Floxen. Nolan describing the whole like, hey, we're here to get people pregnant. Let's see if we can breed. Nolan goes to apologizes to Debbie. Debbie outright destroys him in such a incredible...
Destroys her hand, too.
Destroys her hand in a very incredible, well-written scene that wasn't nearly like this in the comics. Very different from the comics. I expected more of this than what happened in the comics. She was less resistant, more willing for that forgiveness. But in the comics, she plays more of a stereotypical mom, wife character than the strong independent character she's in the show. She's very much better in the show. And this moment is very well, just well handled. Sandra Oh did a great job with this. We have Tech Jacket, who is now female, not male. The reason for it, Robert Kirkman explained that Tech Jacket is basically just Mark in a suit. And that's why, and it's just like, they're like the same characters. So we felt the need to switch it up, and not just felt the need to switch it up, but like, give new dynamics to different characters, like her and Oliver, making her younger. I personal opinion, I don't care. I know a lot of people care. I don't. Tech Jacket was never someone I was like for, because he was a protagonist. He had his own comic, but just never a comic I picked up, and did feel like a lot like Mark. That's my personal opinion. Okay.
I didn't know.
Eve doesn't tell Mark before they leave. They go off. Nolan and Art have a moment. Nolan's trying to catch up with a friend, talking about maybe being, getting him back to Taylor. Art, who's scared shitless the entire time. It's like, yeah, you see, I do heroes, and you know.
I only dress heroes, Nolan. It's cold, but it's good for him.
Loved it.
Stand up for himself. Yeah.
No, good for Art. This sigh of relief. Like,
when he leaves. Yeah.
We have Oliver mad at Nolan because didn't go say hi to him at all.
Yep.
Which we get some space tracks. We get some space stuff. Hello, Conquest.
Yeah.
Because they get ambushed on the way to the space. We have Tech Jacket and Oliver making kind of a talk. Some people are saying they're getting shipped. I'm not going to say more, but I think it's interesting that they're saying they're getting shipped. I'm like, they have a scene, they talk. Like, I guess like two teenagers, and shipped together for 2 weeks. Yeah. Like, sure, shit maybe have happened, especially after Alan and his wife are constantly doing it. So maybe, I don't know. But we never really got into it, and really it's, I don't know. Like, I don't mind change. So, yeah, Conquest, the Viltrumites, they intercepted him. Conquest is very much just like, hello. And we have a space battle. Tech Jacket is getting her butt whooped, starting to figure it out. Alan's getting, they're losing the fight. Oliver goes to take a breath. He sees that Conquest is chasing Oliver, and Mark's just like, nope, you don't breathe anymore. You're done. I'm killing you now. And
Hmm.
takes his hands, does not let go, and takes every single hit in a very gruesome manner that I struggled to watch.
Yep. That was hard to watch.
It was gruesome in the comics, but god damn, you're just like,
It's so long.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have Crohn's, right? I'm currently dealing with like an illness that's like shooting pain up my intestines. It was the worst the day I watched this.
Oh, God.
So I'm like in pain watching this, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah. No.
Mark.
Oh, God. I mean, should we say what happens?
He kills him, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so he's holding him down, and while Conquest is struggling, like finally at the end of whatever breath he's held, he does the pointed hand thing and just straight through Mark's abdomen.
Yep.
And then pulls his arm out and then starts just grabbing his intestines and pulling them all out. Well, Mark doesn't let go, choking him the whole time and grunting and screaming in pain while it happens.
And there's a moment where he's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, locks in.
I'm gonna die with you.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, at this point, there's no going back.
And then it ends with Mark just the crippling hands of, oh my.
Yeah. Gasping for help.
I mean, his hands are just like dead at this point. So, and that is the end of Give Us the Moment. Those are 5 episodes right there. Boy. First thoughts after all of that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm asking, do you have any like first thoughts?
I mean, I'm obviously very curious to see where to go. I didn't expect this episode I didn't expect it to get into this so fast. I don't think, I think that's kind of the point. Like we knew Nolan was coming back and stuff, but everything's been taking so long to all of a sudden now that here they are on their way to fight, Viltrumites, basically.
I forgot about this fight. Like I remember the fight, but I forgot about like the timing of it and like the timing of the Viltrumite War. More or less, what I remembered was like there is a war in space and they fight and like they get all the materials they need to have this war, right? I forgot that the conquest bit was like immediately, and so like when I knew this was like the conquest was back this episode, then it all came to me like, oh, yep. All right. And dude, there's so much in episode 5. Sorry, I'm like tearing up right now.
It delivered.
It's so beautiful. All right. Is this the part where I defend Nolan?
Sure. Let's hear it.
Or do we go into a lot of different philosophical debates? Because there's a lot of them to talk about, right? Well,
there's a lot.
Here's the first one. Give us a moment. Is this the best? Is this the best Invincible episode?
I don't know if I could say it's the best. I mean, the season finale of season 1 is still.
That was my first thought, but I'm like, it's up there.
Yeah. It's definitely up there. I mean, maybe it's second best.
Like the best. Okay,
definitely like second best.
The best scene isn't even the conquest scene. Like it's the Debbie and Nolan scene. Honestly, like that. Yeah. Like arguably, I could make an argument that's the best scene in the whole show.
Yep.
Probably like one of the best written for the show. I don't know. It was really well done. The conquest fight was awesome. That shot with Oliver. Ooh.
Yeah, with them right behind him.
And Oliver's just like has no clue. And it's just like,
yep.
God damn, Oliver. Like I was just smiling. Like this is awesome. This is
yep.
I will say, yeah, season 1 finale is probably up there for me. That was my first thought. Season 3 definitely delivered on a lot of different episodes. I think like the conquest fight initially is up there. I think Invincible War is up there. Season 2, I think some of the fights with Angstrom definitely deserve like that consideration. I think it's up there. I think it's in the conversation. I don't know if it like automatically is. There's that recency bias that people have. Like this is the greatest. I'm like, I don't even know if this is going to be the greatest episode in this whole season. There's going to be some cool episodes coming ahead. This is the Viltrumite arc. This is Invincible's Marine Ford.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what the whole thing's been building up towards so far.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say like it is Marine Ford because One Piece is its own thing, and Marine Ford is like a goddamn like peak of a peak, for a mid season. But it's Marine Ford. This is the mid series peak, so to speak, and so I'm like, let's wait till season 4 before we declare it. But I think that's something I want to do with you is like, what is our top 10 episodes? Since it's in the top 10, it's probably in the top 5, absolutely. Probably in the top
maybe
3.
Top 3, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would consider it for number 1. But yeah, season 1.
We'll see what the next 3 episodes are like. Who knows? We might have a new top 3.
Yeah. Okay. For my first question, unless you have a question that you have. So we're going to do our segment, 5 questions to appease Michael. Also, congratulations to my sister and Michael on their new baby, Whitney. So congratulations to them. So this is
congratulations.
All right, 5 questions to appease Michael, who's not here. Is Nolan redeemable?
I mean, to some extent, you know, I guess it might be it's the, you know, forgive but don't forget kind of thing. You know, at some point, especially somebody that, like, I mean, either you sentence him to death or you let him try to pay some penance for his actions.
So I want to make an argument to defend him, like I said in the preview. Okay. First off, for everybody who's saying, fuck Nolan, I do not forgive you. Debbie should never get with you. Mark should never forgive you. Oliver should never forgive you. Earth should never let you be its hero again. Deserved. All that's deserved. That whole criticism is deserved. I'm going to argue against my point a little bit. Nolan is more or less the pinnacle of what every woman fears, right? Spending time loving somebody who isn't who they act or appear to be, and instead they're a monster that will hurt you or hurt your family. Nolan is the pinnacle of all of that. So for anyone who, like, for any woman who's either dealt with it or looks at this situation and goes, fuck Nolan, Debbie shouldn't get with him, I hear you. My argument isn't to sway you. But I do think there's an important point that, honestly, we can look at the real world now and use this. And I think about this with Mega all the time. And my argument for Nolan is, what's the alternative path for Nolan? If he's not on the path of redemption and forgiveness, what's the alternative path for him? Right? Same with all the people.
Tripling down.
Right. So I'm going to defend Nolan here, right? Nolan we get his origin in episode 2. He is part of this philosophy, and he struggles with this philosophy. This idea of, like, being mean, being tough, being hard on everyone that's younger than you, and toughing them up to be this person who can survive these attacks from your own parents. His mom was going to kill him for being weak. Nolan's indoctrinated for thousands upon thousands of years, or no, just 1,000 years. Well, millennia. Indoctrinated. For those who don't realize, like, indoctrination is not something you can just mentally get yourself out of. Right? If you live in this philosophy, you become this philosophy. Right? So for Nolan, he comes to Earth. His whole goal is to reproduce. Right? He's trying to reproduce. In 20 years, he sees a whole new philosophy of life. He lives this whole philosophy. He experiences love. Think of season 1 with the flashbacks, with the Mark in the baseball. He's like, this is stupid. And Debbie's just like, no, look at your son. Like, he's experiencing joy. He's accomplishing something. He just hit a home run. And Nolan gives in. He finds his humanity. Right? Nolan, for 20 years, finds his humanity. When Mark gets his powers, he's not happy. He's scared. His first thing is, are you sure? He's not celebrating with Mark. He's not happy. He's not like, that's my boy, like a father would be. He's sad. He's sad because he knows what's going to happen. He knows that he's going to have to wipe everybody. He knows that he's going to have to whip this whole world into shape. He doesn't want to do it, right? He gets to a point where he's willing and able to kill Mark, just like his mom was willing to kill him. And he thinks about it, and he's like, he doesn't do it. Think about it. Mark's not thinking, he's thinking.
Yeah.
It's rejection. Right? And what does he do? He doesn't kill Mark. He doesn't stay on Earth. He leaves. And he's doing this one thing that everyone wants, like all like the feminists that are on TikTok that are like, fuck Bart or fuck Nolan, fuck Omni-Man. Debbie shouldn't get with him. What's the alternative? Fuck off and die? He did that. And he did that selfishly. And then he met the Thraxan. The Thraxans.
Yes.
No, it's the Thraxans. It's
Oh, it is. Yeah. No, you're right. It is like
he meets the Thraxan, right? He has an opportunity to save someone. He does. He sees an opportunity to save a kingdom that needed saving, and he does. He saves them. He puts them in danger, but he also saves them and takes their civilization and moves them forward like 1,000 years. A whole race of people is only there because of Nolan. And no matter what you could say, like, oh, he doesn't deserve this redemption, like, he saved a whole race of people. Yes, he did genocide probably like, dozens, if not hundreds of planets. And like, that's awful, right?
Yeah.
That's
I think we both agree.
It's the worst thing you could do, right? The argument is what's the alternative? You can't kill him. Sure, he can go fuck off into a black hole, but what good has he done? What good is that? The alternative is what he's doing right now. Slowly working his way to becoming a hero that he was proclaimed to be. Right?
I mean, isn't that kind of Cecil's whole model or motto?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he does with supervillains.
That's what he does with what's his name? With the Resurgent Men or the
Reaniman.
Yeah, Reaniman.
Yeah.
And so this is Cecil point, and I agree with the Cecil too in a lot of things. Nolan deserves all the hate. He doesn't deserve your forgiveness. He doesn't deserve anyone's forgiveness. But forgiveness isn't for Nolan. It's for yourself. It's for whoever has to deal with that, right? My argument for him is he deserves a path of redemption because what's the better alternative? He's doing everything right, even though he did everything absolutely wrong. Is it his fault? It's hard to break the indoctrination, right? He doesn't necessarily deserve everyone to give him a free pass. He doesn't. Absolutely not. He deserves the hate. But he's coming back. He's helping with the Viltrumites. He's leading this war. He's helping with the plan to end them. He's agreeing with the idea of like the Scourge virus, even though he has, he fought with Thaddeus on it and almost killed him for it. He agrees with it to a point. He apologized to Debbie. What else do you do there? Leave her alone? Maybe that's the thing. But like, if he's there and he's interacting, he needs her sons. What else do you do? Not apologize? You just not say anything? Because he did it to Oliver, and Oliver has a problem with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely no good answers in a lot of it.
So that's my whole thing is like, what is he supposed to do? Other than what he's supposed to do now. Is he selfish? Is he a narcissist? Is he an awful person? Maybe those things are true. But he's on the path of redemption, and I think like the only alternative I could think of is killing him, and that's not an alternative in this reality. So like he is literally doing what he needs to do. He is on that path. And maybe I'm biased because I read the comics and I know where the story goes. It's probably one of my favorite arcs in the Call of Comic history that I've read. But even up to this point, and I will say the differences between the books and the comics. The books, it's not as personal. He doesn't call Debbie a pet. He doesn't take Mark and kill a bunch of people in Chicago. It's just more or less like he's fighting Mark and there's a bunch of casualties in the background. The show is so much more personal, which is why it's harder for Debbie to take him back. And I don't know if Debbie does take him back. I don't know if the show goes that route. I'm 50-50 with it. And I think like it's deserved.
I think he should be just fine with Paul. I don't think she needs taken back.
So that's my whole thing is like, I just think Nolan, does he deserve it? No, but there isn't an alternative that's better. And like, this is what we need from him. And this is the same with Mega, right? We want to say fuck those people. We want to be like, you got us this situation, but at the same time, we need those people to get us out. And that's the truth. And the only way you can break indoctrination is with education, is with kindness, with grace, with understanding and forgiveness. That's how you break it. That's how you bring these people back. As hard as it is, as much as you want to say fuck you, which Debbie did and Nolan deserved, you only bring them back by understanding and kindness and grace. And that's it. That's my defense for Nolan.
Fair.
Yeah. Cancel me if you want.
Yeah, I don't think that's cancelable.
No, it's too rational. All right, you got a question for me? We have a lot of philosophy.
Might have a direct question. Do you have another question? Get me going here.
Got enough. All right, let's go with episode 1. Mark kills Russ Livingston.
Yes.
Did he make the right move? Let's dress up the situation for those who are either haven't. Well, if you haven't watched, what are you doing here? But like for those, okay, the squids, sequids, right? I just sequids. Tomato tomuru. So the sequids, they're invading. I believe Houston was the city. I'm not sure if they name it in the show at all, but Houston is the city they're invading. They have a dome. They're prepared for the sequids, right? They have them all separated. They have the frequency down. Boom. They shoot the person. Teleportation. $1 million a pop per teleportation. That's a lot of people, by the way.
Yeah.
They headed down to Russ, and basically they need every living being to be gone away so that they can take out the sequids. They were about 1 second or a couple seconds away from breaking the barrier, which if they broke the barrier, the containment plan is gone. And there really is no great way to stop them. Like, it's probably playing it over.
Yep.
Mark's got to make a decision, right? He's seeing his ear. Barrier seconds down. He sees bulletproof with the thing, but he's like seconds away. And he's making a decision. He just turns to Russ Livingston. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. Boom, right in the face.
Yep.
Kills him. I'm going to... what do you think?
I think he made the right call. I mean, I'm sure, just like Cecil says later on, dude was an astronaut. He knew what he signed up for to begin with. And I'm sure at that point, he'd be more than happy to sacrifice himself if it meant saving everybody else.
One thing to consider, he doesn't sleep.
Yep.
He is not
constant torture.
Constant torture, constantly awake. He's probably happy it's done. But he sees everything. And like, this is months, right? This has happened for months. And he just got free for a couple days and then got back for months. I will say this. Invincible killing him is not the Superman move. I don't care about what Zack Snyder fans say. That's not the move. You don't do that. Superman doesn't do this type of thing. Spider-Man wouldn't make this move. I don't even think Batman does this move. And I think Batman's more likely than the other two.
Yep.
But this is where I think Invincible gets really, really fascinating because it explores this philosophy of, dude, sometimes is killing okay? Is in certain situations is killing the right move? And I think I agree. What's the worst alternative? Russ dying? One person dying? Or the whole planet? What would you rather have? Like, kill Russ and have enough seconds to spare him? Or not having enough seconds and the whole planet dying? It sucks. Look, Spider-Man wouldn't have done that. Superman would have done it. Batman probably wouldn't have done it. honestly, Superman would have just flew up through there and broke the connection that way.
Yeah, I probably would
But
have like
like,
taken
but writers
dude.
always give the out, right? We never
Mm,
like, and even with Zack Snyder, they're like, "Oh, he makes mention of this." He's like, "Oh, people give him out. You only have one choice." It's like, no, that's not how Superman works. You don't understand Superman.
right.
Invincible doesn't have that.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
His dad made a point in season 2, and I think is awesome. Stop fighting to protect people. Stop fighting like a hero. Fight to kill, because you're not going to survive. And that's a huge point. You fight to kill, and that's throughout the whole season. He did that, right? Episode 4. Oh, this is Satan. Like,
Yeah.
throwing hands immediately. Not even a thought. Conquest, like going after all. Not even a thought. Boom, dead.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just same with dinosaurs. Thought about killing him. Probably should have killed him.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe you know that, but in that moment, I don't think he would have been justified to kill him.
Dinosaurs probably agrees with me, honestly.
Yeah, I think, yeah, in that scenario. But I don't know as much as you do, obviously. So
yeah, I have to re-up those. It's been a while since I read up to like this season, but I didn't read past it. So,
okay,
and that's like run number 3. Okay, moving on. Mark's strategy with Conquest. Right strategy? Bold strategy? Like, he literally gave up his own life. It worked.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He could, like you said, he couldn't beat him before. Not that much has changed, so he needed a way to beat him.
Yeah.
And I think, this was his plan. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to say that he like had thought about this before, but it's kind of like a more niche scenario where like he would already be holding his breath in space for so long because like they say they can hold their breath for like 2 weeks. So to like already be at that point, and then obviously the exhaustion and stuff like that makes it worse, I'm sure. But to like know that, have that strategy, and like it could have been a long time. I mean, it was a long time that he was choking him.
So from the comics and the show comparison, it's a little bit different because they talk a lot more in the comics. And he explains his reason. Like, I don't know when's the last time you took your last breath, but you're not taking one on this planet, and it's probably been a while. So you're not breathing. And like in the comic, it shows that he takes his claws and he's like in there. So he's not like choking,
squeezing. Yeah, like squeezing his trachea.
That he has no breath. Like if you notice in the show, his like lungs before he releases his breath before taking one.
Okay,
maybe it's not in the show, but it's in the comics. So he had nothing, and then he choked him. So I thought it's such just a dope strategy. It's just like it's very ADHD, where you don't have a strategy, but then in the moment you're just like, I know what to do, and then you do it.
Yeah, and you commit. You commit so hard.
He committed, man.
Yep.
And yeah, it was bold. But if he died too, but that being said, Conquest is the most powerful one. You take out Conquest, then you just have Thrag and then the rest of them. And if you can beat Conquest,
and you can beat any of them, right? In theory.
In theory, Thrag is a whole new beast. But we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Get out of here with your spoilers.
Think bad. You could guess that he's stronger than Conquest, probably because he said, I'm the number 2 Viltrumites.
Yeah. Well, that, and I mean, the whole point of Viltrumites is that the strongest is the one in charge, right? So if dude's in charge isn't as stronger than everyone else, then they should be in charge.
They would have put Conquest in charge.
Yeah.
He might be the strongest, honestly. They're just
right.
Well,
I mean, if he can kill everyone else, then he should be in charge, according to them.
They don't respect Conquest, man. He's crazy.
No.
That's what's crazy about him. He's so strong. He's so murderous that they're like, okay, yeah, you're a little too much of us.
He's like the only one with gray hair, aside from Thaddeus. Yeah.
Scourge virus. Another ethical question for you.
Yeah.
All right, so Thaddeus is one of his own. He's, he basically committed genocide on his own. Right to do. Is that the right thing? Is that the ethical thing? Is it? Can you call that ethical?
I don't know if something like that can ever be called ethical, indiscriminate. killing like that.
Yes, but like at the same time,
women, kids, everybody.
It's one of those things where it's like I understand the decision, but it's also just like it's a dirty one. There's no like.
Well, it's the same question of like, is it ethical to drop a nuke on a city?
No. But the thing is like, okay, so the ethical question is like, okay, if this city or this country is about to wipe the whole world, is it ethical to nuke them first? And even though innocents are going to be dying, right? Viltrumite, they were going to wipe out the entire galaxy. They were going to rule the whole entire galaxy. They had billions. They could do it with, like, there is nobody that's going to stop them. So the question is, even if it wasn't like Thaddeus or like Viltrumite who released this virus, is it more ethical, or is it better or morally right to use it on them, or not use it at all? And it's kind of like, it's similar to the Russ Livington situation with the sequids, right? A little bit. Where it's like, hey, if you don't do this, a lot of people are going to die. But instead of one person, it's 1 billion, 2 billion people. Like, hey, 2 billion or billions of people are going to die, but it saves trillions of people from their tyranny. And it's like, I'm happy I don't have to make that decision, because that would be awful.
At that point, it's like the trolley equation, right? Do you move the tracks to save one person if it means killing two, or vice versa?
I don't think there's supposed to be an answer to this, because I don't really think there is one. It's not, the world's not black and white. We live in gray, and it really depends on the decision now, or the situation. Now we have an updated scourge virus, and the question is, hey, if the Viltrumites can up their population, is it better just to kill them all?
Yeah. And I mean, well, not to, throw shade or whatever, but if there's only like 50 of them left at this point anyways, and they're all hardcore on this warpath, then I mean, at that point I feel like it is more justified, because you're not talking about wiping out, innocent people. Are none of them are innocent anymore.
But here you go, we have what, 3 Viltrumites? 4 Viltrumites now that have.
Yeah, that's true.
You have
Mark
weapons.
And Oliver, and
I think if he used it now, it'd be it would not. We keep saying ethical, and I don't know if the question is ethical itself. I will say, like,
justified.
It wouldn't be the right decision now. I think it would be wrong, because like you have a path, you have an alternative path, right?
There are other options still, yeah.
Yeah, and I think like that's the important thing. What's the alternative? Right? With the Mark situation, what's the alternative? Well, planetary taking over of sequids, right? And the scourge virus, what's the alternative? Is there another way to take out 2 billion Viltrumites? Like, damn. Is there a way to stop this other than the scourge virus? Now there's 50 of them. Is there another way to stop this? Yes. And Thaddeus is doing that. At least as far as we know. Yeah, that's another ethical question. All right. I have 2 more, unless you have come up with one.
Oh, keep hitting me. I think you're probably going to hit all the main ones.
I have 2 more. Is episode 4 a forgivable filler episode?
Yeah, I feel like it was a really good way to kind of show Mark some more of like this other side, and like this idea of more of that grayness that there is, that the world, the whole everything isn't so black and white as far as good and evil, and there's no pure evil, there's no pure good, that there's everything kind of exists in their own area. And like his talk with Damien and stuff like that, I feel like definitely had an effect on his thinking and the way that he started looking at this stuff.
We didn't even
after that. Yeah, after that is when he switches. Yeah, when he switches back to the best suit.
It is the best suit. I will say I do like the blue and black suit, just because I like blue and black. But yeah, the yellow just pops, man.
He's a hero in that.
I will say this: when people are like, there's 2 sides, right? They call it's a filler episode. I get annoyed by that argument. And there's people like, it's not a filler episode. I'm like, but it is. It's a filler episode.
It is a filler episode. By the definition of filler.
And I would make an argument it's the worst episode. You could make an argument it's the worst episode in the series. That being said, it's not even close to a bad episode. Like I don't give it below a 3.
Worst episode of the series. Yeah,
I
that
don't
might
give
be
it.
tough.
I don't give it below a 3. I can't think of one that's like worse. The only reason why I would give it like the worst episode just because it was a good time. I can't complain about it. There was some really cool moments. Bruce Campbell showing up as Satan. The rock music was dope. Kador was funny. There was a lot of funny moments.
And it was another showing of just how strong Viltrumites are in comparison. Because, like, you know, Satan, who you assume is like this crazy all-powerful, I mean, he just gets like taken out immediately by Volcanica. And then Mark's like, all right, I guess I'll step in, and just one-shots are over and over again.
He's
and then when the
husk, man, they just keep popping back up.
Keeps going back. And then even when like what did they call those things? The things that they were trapping down there. Whatever the monsters were. Even when one of those comes back up. And
Cerberus.
Satan's like,
from Cerberus.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like the monsters that the whole reason the hell exists is to like keep these things trapped. I can't remember what they said. Something.
I'm like reading the description now, but I can't. I don't see it.
But yeah, even when one of those comes up, and Mark's like, "Oh, should I handle it?" And then Satan's like steps up for a second, and then like, "Nah, I don't want to fight that thing," and just lets him take him out.
It was a fun episode, good. But it also like it worked. It philosophically.
And we get Damien back.
Damien, we get to finish the story in the comics. He just effed off and died,
disappeared. Yeah.
So we get him back. We get a whole lore of hell, which you already talked about, which I think is just dope. The music was fun. It was a fun episode.
Yep.
So like for me, like, is it filler? Yeah, but like filler's not bad. Like I hate when
not necessarily bad. Sometimes filler is bad.
Like
but not all filler is bad.
They're like, oh, it's filler. I'm like, dude, it's new content written by Kirkman himself. Like, goddamn. Like, I'm going to say this again. What's the alternative? 7 episodes? Epilogue-filled finale? Dude, if Robert Kirkman was like, hey, I have a story for this, and it's going to, I'll fit it in thematically, just enjoy it. I don't get the hate. That being said, it is a filler. It felt fillery in my book just because it's just like
like a sidetrack mission, yeah, kind of
like,
a bottle episode a little bit with Mark down in hell the whole time.
But I'll say this: the second time I watched it, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Like I rocked out to it. I was doing work for Roll for the End, and I put it in the background. I was like, "This is more fun than I remembered the first time." It's a fun episode. So
absolutely.
I don't have any more questions to appease Michael. We went way above the 5. I'm sorry, Michael.
Forgive us.
I hope so. All right. Should we get to ratings?
Sure.
I honestly didn't put ratings on my outline. My thought is still in that 4 category. 4 plus.
Yeah, I mean, for the season as a whole, it's hard to go back and like rate each episode just because it's been a little bit since I've watched them all. I can't remember specifically, but I mean, definitely a solid 4 plus.
There's people that's complaining about the animation. It's
funny, it comes up every year.
It comes up every year, and like the animation actually gets better every year. But like, I get this complaint too with like anime. Now that I'm getting more into anime and people complain about anime, it's just like I don't care. I really don't care if the animation is gorgeous or not. Is it a bonus? Absolutely. I love it when Invincible looks amazing. And it's weird when it's bad.
People like to compare the budgets, but they don't consider like the fact that this is animated in America and not Japan, and also this has like a voice cast of extremely famous people that probably all take a ton of money, unlike dub voice actors, which work for like pennies.
Right.
So if you take all that out of the equation, it starts to make a little bit more sense where all the money goes and why
it does.
They have to do what they do.
But like, here's my thing: like, if you like stories for the story, then the animation is just like a part of it, right? The music is a part of it. Invincible, the story holds its own. The story, the animation more or less just has to accurately reflect it and not take away from it. And I don't feel like Invincible's animation ever really takes away from the story.
Yeah. There's some times where it's a little bit more noticeable than others.
But
Like, I think of that specific instance of when Oliver is hiding from the dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like flying up behind him, and it's just like an obvious like zoom. Like there's no actual movement on the dragon. It's just like zooming in. That kind of stuff is a little bit more noticeable, but it doesn't ruin it for me.
No. And look, like, if you want to, like, it deserves this criticism. Like, you can say the animation isn't up to notch and it should be a little bit better with the budget. Valid, right? To me, I don't care if it's amazing. And I don't, like, yeah, that's my favorite. It's one of my favorite stories. Maybe I'm biased in it, but, like, just in general, like, I think of One Piece. Sometimes I miss when it was, like, Dressrosa and back, where the animation wasn't as top notch. Like,
yeah,
it didn't need to be.
It's definitely changed quite a bit since, I mean, Egghead was like quite a revamp on
Dude, you remember the fight with Katakuri?
Yeah.
I thought the animation was so good that it took me out of the fight. Like, it took me out of the story because it was so, I'm like, this is so trippy that I'm like, this is almost too good. Like, it's taking me out of the story a little bit.
And then you think back to like the East Blue and all the episodes when there was just white backgrounds on everything. They didn't even draw a background.
Nah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, and this is where, like, you know, I'm on TikTok too much. I'm listening to a bunch of casuals who don't have media literacy. So they're just like, oh, it's bad. The animation, like, you only like the animation because it's the only thing you understand.
Right.
Like, let's be real. So, like, for me, when people complain about the animation, I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal. It really, it isn't, right? It has a job to do. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be the best. We don't need to compare it to everything else. Like, it just has to be good enough. And Invincible is good enough. There are times that it doesn't seem that way. And I agree. But for me, like, I'm just going to enjoy the show. Same people are bitching about episode 4. I'm like, just enjoy the show. Fillers happen.
Oh, yeah. People like to complain for the sake of complaining. That'll happen no matter what.
Oh, yeah. Makes them feel better about themselves. Yeah. But I give it a 4, 4.5. I think, like, these last 3 episodes, if they're all like at the same level of episode 5, because I give episode 5 a 5-, if not 5.
At least, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
And like,
we're definitely looking at high 4s.
We're looking at 4 plus. I'm going to say 4 plus for now, just because I don't think the first 4 episodes get there. I think the episode 4 brings it down just a notch. But yeah, if the last 3 episodes hit in the same mark or like nearby, it might be a 5 season. It might be back to season 1. But we'll see. All right. You're saying 4 plus 2? New official?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that. I'm happy with that for now.
All right, we're gonna go backwards order. Most valuable new character. I only have one.
Valuable new character.
I only have one, and I don't even think it's the right answer, but I can't say not him.
The only like new character I can think of is Tech Jacket.
It's probably the one that deserves it, but I'm gonna say Dinosaurus.
Okay, he was in it for like 30 seconds.
His voice was amazing. Okay. Tech Jacket is probably the one who deserves it, even though I don't think Tech Jacket was too
I don't think they've had
remarkable.
Not yet.
Still
don't quite understand why they're there. They don't seem like they are on the same level yet. I understand like we got that they beat one of the Invincible clone or like variants or whatever. So that's why, but so far they haven't shown us anything that makes them feel like they're on the same
book
level.
Is like that too. I'll say that. Tech Jacket might be some people's favorite character.
Well, I'm sure everyone's got. I mean,
that's fair.
Some people like
people are like mad about the gender swap and those like they're Tech Jacket fans. He is his fan.
Yeah. Once again, I didn't even know for sure until I saw something online. I knew Tech Jacket was a character, but I had no idea. It didn't make any difference to me. I don't know the character.
All right, yeah. So I say best new character Dinosaurus, but it's probably Tech Jacket. I don't know if there's any other characters that really fit.
No, there really hasn't been anyone new introduced.
I think, yeah.
In a big way, at least.
Yeah. Not yet. We'll see. Oh, wait. Right. That's wrong.
Yeah, but even him, he only had like one short scene. We haven't got to see him do anything yet.
I got to see his voice or hear his voice. It's different.
Yeah.
It's not
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Nope, no, that's Conquest.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, who's Thrag again?
Lee Pace. He's Ronan
Okay.
Lee user in Guardians.
Yep.
I will say I thought Jeffrey D. Morgan was going to be Throg because
Yeah, that's what I
he just fits Throg way more. We're like, I don't, yeah. He also works for Conquest as well. Lee Pace, we'll see. It's an interesting choice, but I'm not. I'm excited to see more from that character. I will say most valuable new character is going to be General Throg at the end of this. It's just going to be Dinosaurus, though, honorable mention, as well as Tech Jacket. Tech Jacket might still win it too. We'll see.
Yeah, let's see what they do with them.
Most valuable performer, I have Sandra Oh as Debbie. I that performance was just so amazing that I can't really give it to anyone else. Voice acting also is hard to really pinpoint. Of like, I don't know. Sometimes like with voice acting, their job is like you just like notice their job and that's it. You know, like sometimes good voice acting or good acting isn't like remarkable.
Right. So like doesn't stand out as much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean that's what competency is, right? You don't always stand out if you're competent, but if you're not competent, you definitely stand out.
Right.
Most valuable villain. Now I think this one is going to be interesting. Of who would you name? Because I don't actually have one that I want to.
I mean, I feel like Conquest.
Yeah.
I don't know who else you'd say. I mean, everyone else has been kind of like one and done and like returning little bits.
So I have it per episode, right?
Yep.
First one, I put
Dinosaurs. Yeah, I knew
but it's the sequence with Russ.
Yeah,
it's him. The second one, I put Nolan's mom and Ragnar's. You could argue that it's the incompetence of Picard.
Yeah, fake Picard, purple Picard,
purple Picard, the incompetence of purple Picard.
Yeah.
No, episode 2 is interesting because like he doesn't really have like a villain to say. 3, Flaxens and Titan is there, but it's hard to like really say which one. There's also 4, Volcanica, Cahor. I'm gonna probably put Cahor because he's just hilarious. Volcanica was just kind of boring to me.
Yeah.
And then 5, Conquest, but honorable mention Nolan.
Yeah. I mean, as the villain.
And he's an anti-hero at this point, but like, yeah, is he not? Like he just murdered and genocide a bunch of people in that tech.
Yeah.
But
he's not being antagonistic though.
His presence is antagonistic.
Not to me. I'm happy to see him.
I'm happy to see him
I love
too.
J.K. Simmons.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, it might be just Nolan for all the way up to episode 5. Like Conquest, yeah, because he's the most remarkable at this point. And he, did escape. He had some, I don't know. It's hard to declare this forward after 5 episodes. It's probably going to be General Throg after all this, if we're being realistic.
Yeah.
I'm definitely spoiling the rest.
Yeah, spoiler.
I mean, it's obvious if you think about it.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I didn't want to think about it, Jake.
Sorry. I was like, who else do you think is going to be fighting? Just a bunch of random people?
Volcanica is going to come back.
She's secretly a Viltrumite.
Yeah.
She's not a Viltrumite. You see her just get splat.
Yeah, well, she's like a mutant Viltrumite.
God damn it. Did you just
turn into a
You know what's crazy? Satan would not make it on the planet of Viltrum.
No.
He would get killed.
Would not.
This week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you just like Robert Kirkman made it in his lore that Satan, the literal Satan, the Lord of Darkness, would not be able to handle Viltrum. He would be
probably not even one Viltrumite.
No,
I don't think he can handle Mark.
No, not at all. Poor Bruce.
He couldn't even handle Volcanica with his crown. So
yeah, man, leave it up to Robert Kirkman to put Satan. Yeah. He's just like shortening him. He's like, you're down here, man.
Quite literally, yeah.
My Viltrumites, oof. Space Jesus.
I like how they were surprised that aliens exist. They're like, there's people on other planets.
Well, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's both so weird because it's like you have, interdimensional aliens, but then you have real aliens invading.
Right.
And then you have like alternate dimensions, not different dimensions, like alternate time dimensions invading. Which I don't even know. Like, is the Floxins from a different dimension, like a different phase of reality, or a different timeline?
Right.
That's a whole question.
Yeah.
Like once you get into like the rabbit hole of it all, it's just like, anyway.
What a crazy world. Yeah.
Most valuable character, I don't think is an argument. Usually I try to make an argument.
Yeah.
I don't have an argument this time. It's our
Mark.
man. It's Mark.
Yeah.
I put Mark Grayson
in the title.
I put Mark Grayson for real. Like there's no argument. I'll go through the lines.
This is his season.
All right, episode 1, I put Mark, but also Oliver. So I think Oliver deserves a lot of that dude put up a lot of like
he's gotten brutalized pretty bad.
And just the months and like the amount of commitment. So
he's only like a year old, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a teenager, and
yeah, in that time, but like in real time, yeah, he's like a year old.
Episode 2, I put Nolan, even though he was also the villain. He's the hero. Episode 3, I put Robot.
Yep. I mean,
he made the final sacrifice. Monster Girl, also honorable mention.
Yeah, I mean, he also, he went out against the Sequids too.
Yeah.
Although against orders. But.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing. Like, yeah, Britt became the captain and Robot didn't. Because he didn't want to follow orders. And still didn't follow orders. That's a whole other question too, if it was Robot correct.
Right. I mean, yeah, especially like going over to Flaxen.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other thing we'll get into episode 8 when they make that reveal, I guess. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Spoilers.
I don't know. Like, something's happening. I'm just telling the obvious.
Nope. I thought that was the end of him. I thought we'd never see him again.
Now you're telling me we're going to see him again. Yeah, we're going to see him. Spoiler alert, he comes back. Surprise.
God damn it, Jake.
Episode 4, I said Mark. It's kind of an easy one. And episode 5, Mark gets half of it, but it's fucking Debbie.
Yeah.
Like, if I have to give it 1, it's Debbie. Like, I'm giving it to her, but Mark gets it because, like, yeah, for real, he's the hero of the show. He's usually going to win this, but no, he's stepping up.
No, he's dead now.
No.
Yeah, he's dead. Did you see what happened to him?
Did you see what happened
Oliver's
to Conquest?
Yeah, but Conquest is dead too.
Now?
Yeah. No. He's dead. Oliver's going to become invincible and take over.
Well, I guess Mark definitely wasn't.